Welcome to the Onside Podcast, a podcast on innovation-driven entrepreneurship. Join us on this journey as we amplify the power of disruptive ideas. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Onside Podcast, the podcast that's focused on innovation-driven entrepreneurship here in our region and across Canada. This season, we're taking a deeper dive into women's entrepreneurship across Canada, highlighting women entrepreneurs and leaders who are really working to make our startup ecosystem more inclusive and driving change. These fireside chats are being brought to you as part of Onside's Start Now Incubator project, which is designed to support diverse and intersectional women all across Canada to start and grow their businesses. And we're really thankful to the Women's Entrepreneurship Strategy for supporting us in that work. I'm your host, Alex McCann, and today we're going to be joined by Nadia Ivanova. So Nadia is the co-founder and chief product officer of a wonderful company called Sparrow Bioacoustics, a Canadian health tech company that's transforming how we monitor heart health. And her work blends the expertise of product management, innovation, and is fueled by a personal journey of resilience. After overcoming a life-threatening illness, Nadia set out to make heart health more accessible to everyone, and a vision that led to the Stethophone, the first medical software that turns a smartphone into a clinical-grade tool for heart monitoring and is now approved by the FDA and Health Canada. Nadia has been recognized with many awards, such as the Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and has completed programs at Harvard Medical School. But what is driving her most is her desire to ensure that no one feels silenced by undetected heart disease. And her story is one of turning challenges into new beginnings and proving that technology, when guided by humanity, can save lives. So Nadia, welcome to the show.
Hello, Alex.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about you and about hearing about your journey. And hopefully we'll get to hear all about the interesting things that have to do with the wonderful heart. Thank you so much for this. This is fantastic. So I know that you have lived in many different countries. You speak a couple of different languages. So how did you end up in Canada? How did you end up in Canada, and how did you decide to build Sparrow Bioacoustics here? What was the opportunity that led you here to Canada?
This is my seventh location where I live. And many years ago, for some reason, it was this desire to come to Halifax. Don't even ask me. I found this thing on the map and I liked it. And I thought this is the place where I want to live.
Awesome.
And it took me about 10 years actually to physically get here.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, we're glad that you made it all the way to Halifax. And I'm sure that, coming here, it's a really interesting place because we have so many different kinds of companies and technologies. And what was it that drew you to Halifax? Was it our sunny weather, or what was it that made you say Halifax is the place for me?
At first, I was accepted to the university here to get my master's degree in law at Dalhousie, and I got the full scholarship to cover it. Unfortunately, I didn't get my visa at that time 3 times in a row, and it became my obsession. I felt like I have to come over here, and I never even tried living in different cities of Canada. I specifically came to Halifax.
Okay. Wow, and you were very persistent.
That's how we built Sparrow as well.
Okay, yes, persistence. Okay, persistent. Well, we haven't even started yet, but I'm sensing a theme about persistence, resilience, and just keeping it going. So, okay, I know that this is going to turn into a theme. So you also have a bit of a background. So Sparrow, we're going to talk a little bit about the technology, but you kind of came from a different background that was more focused on sort of marine acoustics and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that background before we jump into Sparrow?
Sure. I always loved science. And when I first was thinking about creating something like this, I actually was invited to the team that was doing marine science, and we were doing the analysis of underwater minerals. Without excavating them, you could actually analyze using acoustics what exactly those minerals are. So, and since I was moving to Canada, I thought that's a nice place to actually do this startup. So that business did not work out, but I kept my love to acoustics.
Well, 3 times lucky, we like to say. So you had this sort of background with acoustics, thinking about marine, looking at how you could characterize minerals and things, which, of course, we're here in Nova Scotia. We're surrounded by ocean and harbors, and we have the Center for Ocean Venture, Enterprise, and all kinds of some great things. And you said you came to do that. You came to do law. You persistently got here. How did you sort of, make that switch, or what was the leap that made you go from kind of looking at marine acoustics to moving into healthcare? Because they're not always exactly related, but I mean, it's technology. So what
acoustics has the connection? When the old team drifted away with that technology, and I still felt I want to create something, and I was searching where else acoustics could be applied. And from my personal background, I always wanted to build a medical device or be a doctor, do something in healthcare. And I started to think this way.
So healthcare was something that, I come from a family of medical people myself. My father was a doctor. I have a brother who's a doctor. My grandfather was even a doctor.
Well,
I did not become a doctor. But that's okay. So I do have a deep appreciation for health and medical care. What made you interested in healthcare then?
My dream from childhood was to be a doctor, and until high school I wanted to be a doctor. But then on my last high school year, I went to this legal competition, won it, and I got excited about the law and went to law school. Okay. But it still remained something inside that wanted me to move to healthcare.
So healthcare was still like an important component. Okay. And was there, tell us a little bit about acoustics. So you were doing kind of marine acoustics, and then you started thinking about maybe an application towards health. How did you start to think about how you could use sort of the things that you had learned before and apply it in a totally new field? Had you done anything in healthcare before, or what made you think that you could do that?
No, I actually never done anything in healthcare. I've never done a medical product before, but I always understood how to build products. And here, I was searching for the application in acoustics where we can use sounds. What else makes the sounds? We were looking at the waves, for instance, in the oceans, so like birds singing, and our bodies, they all make sounds. And this biosound is very interesting if you can analyze it. So that was the whole idea.
Interesting. So you started thinking, there are sounds that, obviously I cannot hear with my ears. And you started to think about sounds that come from your body. Can you describe what are the sounds other than your stomach gurgling? What are the sounds? What are some of the sounds that you can hear with an acoustic device?
Your heart, your lungs, your blood vessels, actually. You can hear your blood going through your veins. So, and yes, of course, your stomach and the babies, and there are a lot of sounds that our bodies make.
And so that's really interesting. And then you started to think about this new application for healthcare. And the main focus, as I understand, for the Stethophone, am I saying that correctly? Stethophone?
Yes, that's correct.
I keep wanting to say stethoscope, but Stethophone is for the heart. How did you decide to focus on the heart? What's so important about the heart?
So basically, the heart it has a little bit personal connection Several years before this, I was very sick. And I actually found out that I have the heart problem when I was in ICU. And at the time, I wasn't sure I would even survive. And I was thinking that what if there is some device that people could have at home that they could check themselves. Sometimes we don't know our symptoms. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there is no symptoms. There are many diseases that go completely asymptomatic. And it was just that dream to the universe, I guess, that several years later, it all turns out to become
come together.
Come together, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you had a personal experience that you thought, I know some things. I have some information. I could probably do something to address this.
And at that time, I had no idea how this could be done from the technology perspective, but it was something that I really would like to build if that would be possible.
So you had a personal experience that sort of pushed you forward or created a bit of purpose for you to drive you forward. So what was it like to take that idea that you had in your head? You had some background, some knowledge, but what actually made you say I can turn this into a business, or I should start researching this a bit more? How did you start putting the pieces together? What did you do to start kind of putting the pieces together?
Well, the first piece was understanding that you cannot build the medical company without having a medical doctor on a team. So I was starting to search for the co-founder who would be a doctor. And interestingly, I just Googled this person, found him on his blog, and just wrote him an email.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So imagine unexpected person just write you something and offering you, and I'm a very direct person, so I just wrote him would you like to make a business together?
Somebody you do not know.
I have not know him. I've never talked to him before. I just had the feeling this is the person, and I made the message. Okay. And for some reason, he said yes.
Wow. Okay. So you that's a lot of faith in the universe. You just had a list. You're like, okay, this is the person. I'm going to email him. You must have had a very convincing email. And what was it like when you received the response?
Well, I always believe that when I make a wish for some person, they appear. So for some reason, I never doubt, and I'm always trying to be very open what I'm trying to do. So I was very direct in everything that I said in my email, and it was pretty short. And we had our first call online and decided to make a business together.
Okay. And the doctor that you reached out to is a cardiologist?
He's a cardiologist.
Okay. And so he said, I think you're onto something. We could probably try to use our skills together to make something.
Well, he devoted his whole life to researching heart sound.
Ah, okay.
So, and he knows, I don't know, better than everyone. So it was kind of meant to be, and he wrote this book that I actually encountered over the internet, and I thought this book is perfect. It's exactly what I want to do. Okay. So this kind of aligned our interest.
Okay. Well, what is the name of the book? Do you remember what it's called?
Well, it doesn't exist in English yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's called How to Hear Everything.
How to Hear Everything.
Because the book is about the heart sound that has all the information about your health, if you can interpret that correctly.
Okay. Interesting. My son, when he was very young, he had a heart murmur. So I had to take him into, wear the device to listen to his heart. He's fine. But so I had some experience of what that's like to try to figure out by listening, what does that mean? And it's very hard to have a small child when he was 5 years old walking around with a device all day to monitor the heart sounds. So you reach out into the universe. You send a very compelling email out to your now cardiologist co-founder, who has an expertise from the universe around acoustics with you. and you guys decide to create that company here in Halifax. Is that correct?
That was because that's where I lived at that time. And he also wanted to move here as well. He's living in Newfoundland at this moment.
Ah, okay. On the rock.
Yeah, he loves that he found his second home here.
Okay.
This was the perfect place because that's where we are.
Okay. So tell us a little bit. So people who are listening in, you can hear us describe it. But for anyone who's watching us live, hopefully maybe you can see it. But tell us a little bit about how the stethoscope works. Like, if I know it. I want to hear a little bit how it works, and then later I'm going to ask you how you decided to go to the phone, because you had some pivots there. But tell us first, like, how does this device work?
Well, the only thing that you need is the phone. So you press the smartphone to your chest, and Stethophone will listen to your heart sound, will record, and then make an analysis. In 20 seconds, you will know if you have any murmurs, if you have any rhythmic issues. Two most popular symptoms, the most important symptoms of your heart sound.
And so you just hold.
So you just hold your phone.
I'm going to pretend that I have one, and I just on my skin, not on my shirt, but you just hold it up to your chest.
Just hold it.
And for 20 or 30 seconds, and
you will press the record button, and in 20 seconds, it will make an analysis.
And so you have an app that does that?
That is an app called Stethophone, and it's available to download on Apple Store right now.
Okay.
And it's an official medical device registered by Health Canada.
That's amazing. And can you share that information with your doctor, or how would you, if I get a reading that's not very good or like is concerning, how would I use this? I get the reading. Do I have to share it with my doctor, or how does that work?
Well, yes, the point is that you record your heart when you feel unwell, when you feel some symptom, and then you show it to the doctor, either during the appointment, or you can send the results virtually, or you can just send the report. But when you come to the appointment, you will have the results, how you felt. You're not just describing, yesterday I didn't feel well, but symptoms come and go. So you help the doctor to actually diagnose you quickly.
Yeah. I think that's really great, because sometimes, if they go to send you to, I don't know, get an EKG or something like that, you're totally fine when you go. Everything's normal, and you get a normal reading, but then maybe an hour or two later or the next day, that's when you have something shows up. But you're not at the clinic to get the EKG again. You miss the window. It's only a snapshot just on the day that you happen to go. But with this, you're saying, if you needed to do it over a couple of days or months or, things like that, you could capture all that data.
Exactly. Arrhythmia, for instance, it comes and goes. And you feel when it happens, because when the appointment time happens, you may not feel anything. You will be completely fine. How would the doctor diagnose you if you don't have any symptoms? So this is the way for people to help the doctors to diagnose as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's amazing. So now I know you built it now to be an app and of the phone, which is so convenient. But that wasn't the original technology, or that wasn't the original way that you were building things. And you actually, I think I remember you told me that you had to pivot and move it so that it could be on the phone. Tell us a little bit about what you were doing before, and then how did you decide to take a break or switch and go to the phone? Because this is pretty revolutionary.
Well, initially we were making also some heart sound analysis, but for other devices. There were another perfect device on the market, and we were just doing our AI and our sound analysis algorithms. But one day, that best device just went off market. And for us, that was the big moment, because we're either done or we need to make something completely different. And we were considering maybe making our own device, but that didn't feel like it's right, because there are a lot of devices, but how to make it accessible to everyone? What is the device that everyone always have with them? This is the only But the problem was at that time that if you just use the phone to record your heart sound, you will not hear anything good. So it does not work directly. So, and we decided to challenge ourselves. It was 5 people on the team at that time, and we decided together that we'll spend half a year, whatever we need, to try to make it happen on the phone, to try our algorithms work on the phone. And again, it was kind of the request to the universe, because at that time it was not possible. We did some research. People who tried was not succeeded. And funny thing that out of 5 people, 3 did not believe that this is possible. But they believe in that as a team, we will give it a shot.
So even though it was like a little skeptical, like a little bit like, I don't know if we can do it. So you just decided to give it a try. Just keep pushing.
Because if that works out, that would be worth all the efforts. We thought, like, we really want this to happen.
And how long? So you said you took 6 months, or you said let's give it a try for 6 months. So after the 6 months, were you like, yes, we got it done, or like what happened after the 6 months?
So we were always checking back our results with our cardiologist, and this was one time when we sent him the recordings from different devices and our new algorithms, and he could not figure which recording was made by the phone. He thought they all sound exactly the same, and we thought, like, we made it.
Wow.
We made it, and it actually will work out.
Okay. And so you figure out how to do it, but as I know, like getting a medical device approved in Canada and with the FDA is quite a long process. So what did you have to do? Did you have to get investors who believed in you that could help you, or regulatory help? How were you able to, actually go from the idea and getting it to like work in the lab, I guess, and then out into the world?
There's actually a lot of steps even before you get to the regulatory process. There are a lot of documentation. You have to love documentation if you're making a medical device. And you do all this documentation during the development of your device. So after the first prototype, before building this, so we applied for patents, we built our quality management system, and then only we started to prepare for the regulatory pass. And yes, of course, at that time, we were lucky to meet our investors and get our support, and we were able to move forward and make this happen.
Yeah. And so now the product is out there. It's on the market. I checked out the website. I love the website. There's a woman that's sitting, I think, by it looks like Newfoundland to me.
It's in Newfoundland.
It is. Okay. And she's just sitting by the ocean, and then she puts the device to her heart too.
It's actually one of our employees.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, she looks fantastic modeling the device. And so now you're out in the market and you're kind of in the sales, like a sales mode, and bringing it to folks. Have you had any stories that you could share with us of anyone who's used the product, or what has been the experience of anyone who's been able to use the product?
Well, first of all, I would say that both doctors and patients use it. Mm-hmm. We are now available in 3 different countries. I think I remember the first patient that was made us understand that this is all worth it, even for that one person. There was this older man who came to the doctor, and they did all the tests, and for some reason they thought he's okay. He was just older, and then they used Stethophone just to give it a try, and they found a murmur they didn't hear before. They sent him for extra tests, and he had the surgery almost right after.
Oh, wow.
So I literally can say that his life was saved, and that made us understood that this is all worth it. Mm-hmm. This is all why we're doing this.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that he was probably ecstatic that he was one of the first testers, or first folks to use that. And so you're saying doctors are using it, in their practices, and then regular people like me can use that. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because for doctors, they can use it like a regular stethoscope at the clinics, at primary care, at nurses. They could use it, so they could just do the preliminary checkups for people before sending to other tests. This is a very good screener tool. And for regular people, this is the tool you always have in your pocket.
That is true. Yes, I wish I didn't have mine all the time, but I think you're probably right. Well, I want to change gears a little bit and talk about what it was like to come to Nova Scotia, come to Canada, and start creating your company. And what was that experience like as a new immigrant to Canada and as a woman working in kind of a technology space? How has that experience been for you? I guess, we have Canada's full of so many immigrants and so many people coming here, but we know those, it's not always so easy. What have been the things that have surprised you about your journey coming here to start and starting a company?
Well, I would be completely honest to say that here in Atlantic Canada, there is a lot of support for entrepreneurs, not just for women entrepreneurs, but in general for technology. And I've never, out of all 7 locations where I used to live, I've never met such a support to small businesses to help people to actually move forward. So it's interesting when you're an immigrant, you look at things from back of your culture and you explore in the new culture. And together, I think that gives a chance for a lot of creativity.
Well, we've definitely heard about sort of we're a growing ecosystem, I think, here, nimble and maybe not so big yet, so it makes it a little bit easy. Who have you worked with kind of locally here that's been kind of helpful or supportive for you?
Well, there were many people who really supported us. The first supporter was Innova Corp, in West Nova Scotia right now. That was the first grant that we received. And I think we were one of the first medical startups actually in the area. And it was amazing that people believed in us because, to build a medical product, it may take years. It's difficult. And we were very, very excited that people actually give us this chance. So then it was Volta and CDL, and there was,
lots of support.
We received a lot of support. And the most support, I think it was from regular people. Sometimes when people were asking me like what I'm doing, and when I'm telling about Stethophone, they were saying like, please do this, please finish this because we need this, we want to buy it. And that was helping to move forward even when it was hard.
Yeah. Well, I think we do have a pretty supportive ecosystem. And I mean, I think in the last couple of years in Nova Scotia, there's really been a shift or a more concentrated effort around health and kind of and health care. So I think you're coming in at the right time. And we definitely know that, a lot of people think that, breast cancer or something like that is like one of the leading illnesses for women. But actually heart disease is actually is very high up there, might even be the number one issue for women. And a lot of women don't know much about their heart health because, you watch the movies and then there's a guy and he like grabs his heart and he, kind of falls over. What are some things that like women should be thinking about for their heart health?
Well, there are symptoms that women experience in a different way than men, for instance. Sometimes when people say like, oh, I have the heart, something with my heart. For women, actually, it's a back pain. So when you feel the back pain, it could be the symptoms of some heart symptoms. And it feels a little bit different. And according to statistics, actually, people believe that at least 12 to 20% of people have some heart issues, but they never been checked. So that's why we think that our screening tool would actually be useful. Because there are a lot of people who just don't have any symptom until the disease just develops to some major stage.
So for any women who are listening out here, it may not be the chest compression. It'll maybe be the back or something else. And your tool gives people a way to kind of know about it.
Peace of mind, yeah. When you know, you can make steps.
Yeah. So you're making a lot of progress with Sparrow Bioacoustics. What are your plans for the next 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you see all of this going? Like, I know, I'm sure it's been like a slog over the last couple of years and COVID and everything, but do you have some high hopes, or like, what's your vision over the next couple of years for Sparrow?
Well, in 10 years, I believe that Stethophone will be on every phone on the planet.
Okay.
Maybe as part of operational system.
Okay.
It will detect most of the heart conditions, lung conditions. And I really believe that Stethophone will become a pivotal tool in cardiac screening.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right, because it sounds like it's something that's very accessible and much needed. I think, rates of obesity and, all the pressures that relate to other symptoms for heart disease.
And for all the remote areas where people don't have doctors nearby.
Yeah, I think that's another good point. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think that's another good point for accessibility. Like, we're right here in Halifax. We have access to clinics and things like that. What are ways that people who are kind of in remote areas can use this?
Well, when I first tried the virtual care, when I was testing it, it's just a survey. They ask you how you cough. Describe me how you cough. Well, it's very difficult to describe how I cough, fairly speaking. When you just take a phone and listen and send it to your doctor, they will understand it. So regardless where you're located, maybe you travel and maybe you live in a remote area, you just use your phone, press it to your chest, and then share it with your doctor. It's a lot easier to have this real evidence instead of just describing by the words.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that, if you needed more information, could be sent to a larger center or something like that.
Yeah, you can. This is the first test. I call it test 0. Before you send to other tests, this is a screening tool. So, and then the doctor will know more clearly where exactly to send you for which test and how to prioritize it in the list, because there are a lot of people who are waiting for the appointment. So this actually helps to prioritize.
Yeah, I think that's another thing we experience here across Canada. We have really great care when you get it, but sometimes it can take a very long time to get to that to get that appointment, and this can be something that helps people sort of in the meantime. And so we talked a little bit about the stethoscope. I always keep saying stethoscope, Stethophone. I will get it. We talked a little bit about your journey and creating things and some of the support that's here, and looking at ways in which you've been able to come together with some serendipity across the universe to help you build this company. You want to see this on everyone's phone going forward, allowing people, I would say, across the globe, really, whether they're in remote areas here in Canada or in places where it's harder to access technology. And I know that you have been very interested in heart health and things like that for a long time. What are some other areas that you're thinking about? You mentioned kind of lung and other things. Are there other applications for the acoustic technology that you're sort of thinking about, or you mentioned a couple of things like that?
Well, our first focus will definitely be heart disease, because there are at least 40 heart conditions you can detect using the sounds. We also constantly collecting lung sound as well, and that will be our AI in the future. But as I mentioned previously, there could be other sounds. For instance, the doctors always ask us, could you make it for maternity care, for example? Can it work for babies? Because people would like to hear that heartbeat as well. So anything that could be connected to the heart sound, that is doable. to the body sound, body sound.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. It sounds like there's lots of potential and we're just kind of scratching the surface or just kind of getting this out here. And is the technology that you developed, is this unique, or is this sort of, are there other people that are looking at doing this? Or, I think I haven't heard of this from anywhere else. So I feel like you're like out there.
Well, we are the only ones in the world who made this device approved by the FDA and Health Canada. Mm-hmm. So yes, this is very unique.
Yes, we're very lucky to have you here to do this. As we sort of wrap up and kind of bring things to a close, as an immigrant woman who's been living and working in the technology space here in Canada, do you have any advice or anything that you would like to share with women who are thinking, about going down this path in maybe tech entrepreneurship, which is maybe a little bit different than, some other kinds of entrepreneurship? Are there any things that you feel like women who are going down this road should think about, or, something you wish someone had told you before you got started?
My personal approach to doing the business in general is when there are roadblocks, I try not to look at them as the problems. I try to look at them as opportunities. And I'm not even, actually it happens this way, but I'm never overthinking whether something will be hard or easy. I'm just having as a task. This is my goal, and I'm not even thinking how difficult this will be to get this. I'm planning the way to get there. And I think this really helps us because sometimes we overthinking how hard this could be instead of just giving it a shot.
Mm-hmm. 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 So get a little, don't get so in your head.
And believe in what you're doing. Believe in your mission, because when you believe in it, that's how you attract other people. Mm-hmm. That's the only way how your team will believe in your product as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's some really good advice. Anything else that you wish you had known, or you wish someone had told you? Or you have young daughters, I believe. Is that correct?
No, unfortunately. Well, when my disease happened, my son have died from cardiovascular disease. So I guess this is my devotion to overall health of people. So this would never happen with others.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So keep it going. Find your passion. Devote yourself to what you're doing. Dig deep and try not to get too caught up in your brain to make the things happen that you want to happen. That sounds like some pretty good advice. And I think we will hold on to our hearts very tightly. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. I really do appreciate it. And if people want to know more about Sparrow Bioacoustics, what's the best way that people can do that?
We have a website, Stethophone.com, and also we have a LinkedIn page where we publish all our news. You can find our team. You're welcome to follow us.
Okay, that sounds good. And I will say for all of our listeners who tuned in today, you can get more information about us at onsitenow.ca, and we'll be posting our podcast and all the information there. And we look forward to hearing from you guys again, and welcome to join us on our next episode. So thank you all very much, and appreciate it. Nadia, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio.